Hello subscribers, the review for today will be on this piece of controversy, the Schleich 2021 Mosasaurus. So when these new Schleich figures were revealed back in September, this Mosasaurus was the most hated, mostly because the body shape was weird and the head looked kinda ugly. Now that I have it in hand, it's a lot better than I thought it would be. But is that saying that this is a super good Mosasaurus toy? Almost certainly not, since it still has some issues from the promo images. But to me, it's far from the worst Mosasaurus toy. And it's also far from the worst figure made by Schleich. Now let's dive in and talk about the features that made everyone hate this figure. For one, the build of the body. Mosasaurus was a robust 50 to 60 foot animal, and the larger an animal is, the more muscle it will need to support itself. Looking at this guy from the side, it looks fine, but when you look at it from the top, this thing is suffering from anorexia. See how thin the torso is? And you can even see how thin the tail is. So how is this thing supposed to propel itself through the ocean? Now, some people are saying that this thin build is actually more reminiscent of Mosasaurus' smaller relative, Platycarpus. We all know that if Schleich were to call this a Platycarpus, it probably would have been much more positively received. The second most common despised feature of this Mosasaurus is the scalation. Some people said that it looks too retro and something straight out of those dinosaur statues from Crystal Palace. But I love this scale detailing, even though it's not accurate, as Mosasaurs are known to have small, smooth, snake-like scales. You can see how beautifully sculpted the scales are, especially on the neck and the body area. The detailing's also on the tail, but it's not as nicely done. See, you got that wonderful scalation on the other side as well. Then on the bottom, it's not smooth, but it's mainly just a bunch of lines, so it's nothing too special. Let's take a look at the head. Now, the promo images showed the head from a really bad angle, but thankfully it doesn't look too bad here. It still looks like a Mosasaur's head. Now, the teeth, they are pretty blunt, but not too blunt to the point where they look like human teeth. And in the back, see they got the pterygoid teeth, and if you look closely, there's a forked tongue. So it's great that Schleich added those, and shows that they have at least a basic understanding of Mosasaur anatomy. This toy seems to be a cross between a retro Mosasaurus and a scientifically accurate Mosasaurus. The retro features are the little scoots on the back and the big scales. The accurate features are the pterygoid teeth, forked tongue, and tail fluke. On to my favorite part of this figure, the paint job. Now I have to admit, I absolutely love this color scheme. I think the teal works very well with the white underbelly and this cool looking white striping. I know it's not accurate as Mosasaurs are known to have counter shading, which they have white on the underbelly and on the top is supposed to be black or dark blue. This is one of the best paint jobs I've ever seen on a marine reptile figure. It's right up there with the Safari 2017 Kronosaurus. I was definitely not prepared for the size of this figure. I thought it was going to be around the same size as the collecting Mosasaurus, but no, you could see he's over a foot long. So I guess we can start with the comparisons now. Here is the little 140 scale humans by Collecte, and here's the PNSO Winter Wilson. And you can see the Mosasaurus is big as Wilson. Here are all of the other Mosasaurus toys that I have, excluding the ones by Mattel. Now the Schleich one easily dwarfs all of them, but I think the Collecte one here is still the best, especially with that heavily built body. Personally, I think these two Mosasauruses right here, the GeoWorld and Safari, are worse than the Schleich. Why not bring in another Mosasaur? Here is my all-time favorite marine reptile figure, the Safari Ltd 2017 Tylosaurus. There we have two other marine giants in the background, the Collecte Pliosaurus and the Safari Ltd Kronosaurus. Let's bring in two prehistoric fish toys, the Collecte Deluxe Megalodon and the Collecte Deluxe Dunkleosteus. Here are some other Schleich prehistoric animal toys that I have. I have to say, all 5 of these are my favorites. Last but not least, here is the Schleich Mosasaurus next to the Collecte Mini Xiphactinus. A few species of Mosasaurus, like Mosasaurus conodon, inhabited the western interior seaway, so Xiphactinus definitely had to be aware. So, in conclusion, this is a figure that's definitely not going to be for everyone. But for me, I really like it. The overall toy looks bizarre, the head sculpt and scalation is great, and the colors are just phenomenal, and so is the size. So my final rating for the Schleich 2021 Mosasaurus is a 7.5 out of 10. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe button, and let me know in the comments whether you like this Mosasaurus or not.